Fans question the silence. Why is Maine Mendoza quiet about Alden Richards and Nadine Lustre's new movie? As conversations around love in Ciargo continue to dominate fan circles, a new question has started to echo louder than ever. Why is Maine Mendoza so quiet? With Alden Richards and Nadine Lustre making headlines for their upcoming film together, many expected Maine to at least react, whether through a simple post, a supportive message, or even a subtle acknowledgement. But so far, nothing. And for fans who have followed the journey of Alden and Maine for years, that silence feels louder than words. Some supporters are beginning to speculate that Maine's decision to stay quiet is intentional. In the world of showbiz, silence can mean many things. It can be a sign of respect, a desire to avoid fueling rumors, or simply a way of maintaining peace in the middle of rising public attention. Others believe it's her way of drawing boundaries. Maine has grown tremendously over the years, stepping into her own identity beyond love teams and on-screen pairings. Choosing not to comment might reflect maturity, a quiet confidence that she no longer needs to be part of every narrative involving Alden. Still, fans can't help but read between the lines. On social media, theories continue to circulate. Some wonder if Maine feels uncomfortable about the growing buzz between Alden and Nadine. Others argue that there's no issue at all, that she simply prefers to keep her thoughts private, especially when it comes to topics that could easily be misinterpreted. There are also those who see her silence as support in its purest form. Because sometimes, not saying anything means choosing not to interfere, allowing others to shine in their own moment. Meanwhile, the chemistry between Alden and Nadine continues to attract attention, making Maine's absence from the conversation even more noticeable. Fans who once thrived on every interaction between Alden and Maine now find themselves adjusting to a different dynamic, one where things are less spoken, but perhaps more understood. But here's the truth that many are slowly beginning to accept. Not every story needs a public reaction. Maine Mendoza has always been someone who values authenticity. And maybe, just maybe, her silence isn't about avoidance or discomfort, but about choosing when and where her voice truly matters. As for Alden Richards and Nadine Lustre, their project continues to move forward, carrying with it both excitement and uncertainty. And in the background, Maine remains exactly where she has always been, graceful, composed, and quietly in control of her own story. So while fans continue to ask questions, one thing is becoming clear. Silence doesn't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes, it simply means everything is being handled with care.
As the days go by, the silence from Maine Mendoza becomes even more noticeable, especially as promotional content for Love in Ciargo continues to circulate online. Every new teaser, behind-the-scenes photo, or interview clip featuring Alden Richards and Nadine Lustre only adds more fuel to the conversation. Fans are now analyzing everything: facial expressions, tone of voice, even the smallest gestures between the two actors. What was once seen as just a professional collaboration is now being viewed through an emotional lens by supporters who are deeply invested in Alden's past and present connections. And still, Maine remains quiet. This quietness has slowly turned into a topic of its own. Some fans say it feels unusual, especially considering how publicly supportive she's been in the past when it comes to Alden's projects. Others argue that people are reading too much into it, that not every actor or celebrity needs to comment on every co-star or project involving someone they once worked closely with. But in fandom culture, silence is never just silence. It becomes a question mark, a theory, a story waiting to be written. Some supporters of the Alden-Maine tandem believe that Maine's silence might be her way of protecting herself emotionally. In their eyes, seeing Alden paired with another actress in a romantic setting could naturally be uncomfortable, even if she doesn't express it publicly. They feel that staying quiet might be her way of staying strong. On the other hand, many fans strongly disagree with that interpretation. They believe Maine Mendoza has already moved far beyond being defined by any single partnership. For them, her silence is not emotional distance, it is growth. It is her way of focusing on her own career, personal life, and peace of mind without being pulled into every rumor or comparison. Meanwhile, the excitement around love in Siargao continues to grow stronger. The pairing of Alden Richards and Nadine Lustre is now one of the most talked about collaborations in recent months. Fans are curious not just about their chemistry, but about how their different acting styles will blend together on screen. Alden's emotional depth and grounded presence paired with Nadine's intensity and artistic edge is something many believe could create a fresh and powerful cinematic experience. Yet, even with all the excitement, the emotional undercurrent in fandom discussions remains strong. Because for some, this film is not just a project, it feels like a transition, a shift from one era to another. Old memories of Alden and Maine are resurfacing online, interviews, live moments, and unforgettable scenes that once defined a generation of viewers. These clips are being reshared not necessarily out of comparison, but out of nostalgia, a reminder of a time when everything felt simpler, more certain. Now everything feels different. But perhaps that is the natural evolution of both life and love teams in the entertainment world. Nothing stays frozen forever. Actors grow, projects change, and audiences too learn to adapt. Industry observers also note that silence from celebrities like Maine Mendoza is often strategic. In a time where every comment can be dissected, misinterpreted, or turned into headlines, choosing not to engage can be the most powerful decision of all. It allows space for the film to breathe, space for the actors to focus, space for fans to process their emotions at their own pace. Still, the emotional weight of this moment cannot be ignored, because whether fans admit it or not, they are not just watching a movie being made, they are watching memories, expectations, and attachments being challenged in real time. And in the middle of it all stand three names that continue to dominate conversations: Alden Richards, stepping into a new artistic chapter; Nadine Lustre, bringing her signature depth and intensity; and Maine Mendoza, remaining silent, but undeniably present in the hearts of many fans. So as the premiere draws closer, one question still lingers in the air. Is this truly just another film, or the beginning of a new emotional era for everyone watching?